Hey there, guys, it's Controversial, yeah. Now, today I wanted to talk about social media, and as the title says, social media is not your friend. Like, I've been spending quite some time on social media, especially as of recently, seeing as I have a YouTube channel and I practice social media, I have my own personal social medias that I've had for a while. And the one thing that I can say is that social media is not your friend, and it will probably never be your friend or on your side because when it comes to social media is not really equipped to be fun anymore. It's not really a place you can go to it's like social media is not that fun anymore. It's just about cancel culture. It's about bigotry, racism, um, illicit acts, over sexualization. The works, the works. Like I remember a time like when social media was still like not even social media, just the internet in general. Just the internet in general was very tamed and new. Like I remember like when a viral video meant it just being a funny video that you'd share with your friends, and that would be the end of it. Now a viral video turns into someone becoming an influencer, and then later down the line either becoming a predator, a drug addict, or ending up in jail. Like 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 it's literally the very fabric of social media these days. Like I remember like when memes weren't even really called memes. It was just a funny video that you it was like a 2 megapixel video, like it was it was probably like a very low quality video on your cell phone that could just handle that video, and the screen was like the size of a matchbox. I remember those days. And listen, back in those days I was like a child. Like I was young. I wasn't old when phones were like that and stuff. Like my parents were, or like or even my siblings were young at that time. But I mean, just back then, like how much technology has changed. Now you have phones that come in the size of pencil cases, or like let's come that come in the size of that are bigger than your hand or whatever. And like with the rising with the rising power in technology and computing power of technology, social media is growing and growing with each and every day, and just things are changing. And as I said before, I remember when a viral video just used to be a video that you'd show to your friends, you would laugh, and then that would pretty much be the end of it. But now, like with the rising popularity of social media, um it's kind of changed the very fabric and the way we look at life. Because I remember Facebook, like when Facebook was still prominent, and there was MySpace. I never really caught on to MySpace because honestly speaking, MySpace like was more of an American thing and a Western thing. Like like for example, I used to use Facebook to literally communicate with family members who didn't live in the same country as me. So if so 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 if I had a family member that lived in a different country, I could just communicate with them whenever. And honestly, Facebook was cool. Like, but I was never really a Facebook person. I'm not someone who can sit on Facebook for like 2 or 3 hours. Like I remember there used to be a thing of where people would actually get addicted to Facebook. And like looking back at it now, and even back then, I never really saw, like honestly speaking, I never really saw the interest in Facebook. This is why like I barely posted. I used to post more when I was a teenager than when I was a child. Like I think honestly speaking, I had a Facebook account very early, and not necessarily early, but I just had family members and stuff that I used to like talking to because we couldn't see each other a lot because they lived in a different country basically. So with that, Facebook I would use for communication. And now face now everything's different. Now you have TikTok, you have Instagram, you have Twitter and everything. Now the whole very fabric of social media is kind of getting out of touch now, because people are taking social media way too seriously and are making it their bread and butter. Like, listen, I like social media as much as the next person, but honestly speaking, social media is just a platform to me. It's not a lifestyle. It's nothing more than that. Because the way some people fight for their social media and whatnot is kind of cringe. Because honestly speaking, I'm ready to walk away from social media tomorrow. Like, I'm not saying I'm walking away from it tomorrow, but that's how I feel. Because how much time and effort some people put into their social media is extremely cringe, especially as like Instagram, for example. Some people put way too many personal things on Instagram, and Twitter. Like I cannot spend too much time on Twitter because of the level of toxicity there is there. Like for example, I would go on Twitter for like maybe 10-20 minutes, and then I would leave because of the amount of toxic people. Like, you can't say that, you can't say that, they'll cancel you. It's like, bruh, chill. I'm just here to, and like that's how usually when it comes to Twitter, I just watch funny videos, or I just usually go there to talk BS, and then I leave. Because like the willingness that some people have to have arguments on Twitter is crazy. Like, some people want to have 100 long tweet messages with you about an argument that usually just goes in circles. Two people who have opposing views who can't come to an agreement, and that's pretty much what Twitter is. Twitter is literally a schoolyard fight between influencers, politicians, celebrities, and the normal people. Your normal, your normal average, person. Like, Twitter is literally where celebrities go to get cancelled, to the point where they delete their Twitters, or even celebrities for that matter, and influencers, whatever you want to call them. So this is pretty much like what social media is. And just like with social media, like the amount of gaslighting and one-sidedness there is with people and their social movements, it's like, don't you have anything better to do with your time? Like, honestly speaking, like, just dealing with people on social media is so annoying. And the thing about social media is everyone thinks they're right. Even though their movement, whatever it is wrong, or the way they go about doing it is wrong, you cannot call them out, because then they will have a word for you that determines as someone who's against it. Like, for example, you can't talk against transphobic people. I mean, sorry, you can't call, like for example, you can't talk against trans people because then you're transphobic. You cannot talk against homosexual people because then you're homophobic. Like, if you're a white person, you cannot talk against race relations on black people because then you're a racist. And like, it's pretty much what it is. And people have taken too much time into social media as opposed to actually going out and living their lives. If you look at these days at how impressionable social media is on kids, and these days, the only thing kids know how to do is just to copycat. They don't know how to invent anything of their own. That's all they literally do. They just use terms, slogans, they just use terms and slogans that they find on the internet, and then they just pour it out onto other people. You can literally go to Instagram, for example. Like, tell me, how are you? Like, how are you 13 years old and you're bisexual? Like I see people posting their sexualities on Instagram. It's like, why? Oh, I'm pansexual. I'm non-binary. Like, no one cares. And like, I see it, and it's like, and then I'll flick through Instagram randomly, and then you'll see how some of these people, specifically the women, they'll support the LGBTQ, Black Lives Matter. They'll support the trans movements. They'll support every single movement out there, probably not even knowing what it means, trying not to be cancelled. Oh my goodness. And then you just see, you look at Twitch, and you look at YouTube, and you look at most of these social medias as to where females or women get away with doing the bare minimum of work and just showing as much skin as possible and doing as many inappropriate things to become popular, just to cry and play the victim when they get cancelled for doing exactly what I just mentioned. Saying, oh no, I'm just doing what everyone else is doing. It's like, what? Oh, and these days most of the biggest content creators have platforms to where most of their fan bases are really young and can't really determine the difference between right and wrong. All they just see are Lamborghinis, money, the clout, the fame, the lifestyle. That's all they see. They don't take into consideration the morality factor into it. Like if someone goes like if a YouTuber who has a small country's worth of subscribers or followers on a social media goes and then films a homeless man's dead body and still posts about it and laughs at it, then their fan base is just gonna laugh and say, "Hey, look at that old drugged out old man on the street there." When in the meantime, that guy probably tried to call for help but he doesn't have a phone because he's homeless. So he probably couldn't move because he was sick and he couldn't get a hold of anyone because people ignored him. And then now he's dead there on the sidewalk, and then you're filming his dead body, defaming. You see what I'm saying? But yeah, just like people take social media too seriously, and honestly I cannot deal with social media for that for long periods of time. I usually just go there, say my 2 cents, or just check my posts, just check my posts, and then I head off for the rest of the day. Usually I come back occasionally if I'm bored. Usually it's if I'm bored, but honestly speaking, I cannot live on social media like most people. That's just too much. Honestly speaking, that's just too much. Oh, I don't know. I don't know. Like, let me know how you feel about it. Because honestly speaking, social media is not your friend. It just makes you feel inadequate. It makes you feel poor. It makes you feel unwanted. And people these days show off their money. They show off their bodies. They show off everything. They show off every single achievement that they can in front of you to make your life feel that it's not good enough or that you are not good enough. And that's the crazy part about it. Like this is the reality of social media today, because as soon as influencers or celebrities and stuff, or whoever does stuff on the internet, could start making livings off of the internet, I think that's when social media started to take a downturn. Because then you have all of a sudden, like all of a sudden you have someone who used to make gaming videos. Someone who used to make gaming videos is now on drugs, selling NFTs, and is promoting gambling on their social media platforms. Like, what the heck? Yeah. So social media is not your friend. You just need to know how to break away from it. Honestly speaking, the only reason I really do it as much as I do is because I don't really have much else to do. I every now and again I'll try and I'll do my best to head out into public. I'll go for walks. I'll go see a friend. I'll probably take a break or two. But honestly speaking, I cannot do social media like most of these other people, because even with paid television, you'll get kids and stuff like you'll have, for example, like you'll leave your 10-year-old child at home with an internet connection and a Netflix subscription, and then they find out stuff like Euphoria, or they find out stuff like Big Mouth when they're not supposed to be doing it, or they find all of these shows, because at the end of the day, people need to also understand that Netflix probably has some censorship protocols, but at the end of the day, like if you're watching Netflix on your parents' account, Netflix doesn't always advertise the most kid friendly stuff on their platform. And I'm not complaining, because like I'm an adult and I can watch whatever I want, but I mean, what about the kids? like because the most popular shows the most popular shows on Netflix usually aren't the most kid friendly, and that's probably why they're cool, because it's not kiddie stuff. Like, there's a lot of kiddie stuff on Netflix, but even the cartoons on Netflix, like even most of the animated stuff on Netflix isn't for kids. It's like Big Mouth, F is for family. I mean, Rick and Morty maybe, but Rick and Morty is stretching it a bit. Like, most of these cartoons are adult humor. Even a Family Guy, for example. Like, I think one of the only kid friendly ones you could even say is relatively kid friendly is The Simpsons. And but anyway, I guess that's um I guess that's about all I have to say for today, guys. I think I went a little bit too long, but honestly speaking, I just wanted to give my 2 cents. Um. So anyway, guys, this is controversial. This is controversial signing off. I'll see all of you guys in the next video. Goodbye.